The big late afternoon game features a renewal of one of the great rivalries in all of football. Your Dallas Cowboys, Shireen, go back to Lambeau Field, site of the Ice Bowl and plenty of other great games. Dez caught it in the postseason 7 years or so ago. It would have even more sizzle if the Packers weren't 3-6 and riding a 5-game losing streak. I mean, that's amazing. They were 3-1 with no indication that things were going to fall apart. Fall apart they have. But Mike McCarthy's coming home either way, to a place where they named a street after him, to a place where they unceremoniously fired him with games left in the 2018 season. Here's McCarthy getting emotional about his return to Green Bay.
Green Bay wasn't just a place you coached. It's very much, where you lived. And Jessica, a special place for her, for your kids. What about the area do you and as a family, as a unit, miss?
No, this is bullshit. You guys trying to make me cry.
What are the individually?
Why don't you ask me a question about 12 personnel or something? What I miss most?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I think it's like anything, the people. And that's why I think it's been such a great transition for our family, because our kids, were obviously born there, raised there, but to come here in this experience, because a lifestyle in Dallas, Texas is incredible. This has been an incredible opportunity for us as a family. But, Jessica was born there, kids were born there. So, people, Mr. People.
I'm a student of human behavior and demeanor. Now, I may get an F in the class, but I'm still a student. They haven't kicked me out yet. But when he grabs for the drink and takes a drink at the start of the question, that is the, for lack of a better phrase, oh crap, here it's coming move. Like, the moment the question starts, he knows this is going to take him down a path he doesn't want to go. So the reflex is grab your cup and take a drink. Grab something to just like hear it. Just like I've done it before. I've seen it before. But as soon as I saw him do that, that's the move that you make when you're like, oh crap, here comes that thing that I really would rather not have to deal with. And he dealt with it well. And it just shows you that, it's football's rough and tumble, and you have to have a hard exterior, and you're going to get fired at some point. You either haven't been fired or you will be fired. Very few get to do anything on their own terms. And we saw a human moment. We don't see enough of those true human moments that peel back the facade that football players and coaches feel compelled to carry around all the time.
Yeah, he was with the Packers nearly 13 years, Mike. There's some fond memories there. And I think you heard from Aaron Rodgers that relationship did not end well. His time in Green Bay, Mike McCarthy's, did not end well. But when you're where the Packers are this year, I think you look back probably on some of those memories a little more fondly than you would if you were sitting here at 7-1 and thinking you're going to compete for a championship. I think they long for those days when Mike McCarthy was there and helping them win a Super Bowl, their most recent Super Bowl. And they're not there this year. So first 5-game losing streak since 2008. But I'll say this about Mike McCarthy, Mike. I've seen a change in him as they've won games, as they've become a contender, which they didn't start out like that in that loss to Tampa Bay. I don't see Mike McCarthy looking over his shoulder anymore. He appears loose. He appears human, as you said. Everything that you want in a coach when he goes to those press conferences, that's what I'm seeing right now in Mike McCarthy. And I just see a guy who's not tense, who doesn't think about his future. Oh, my gosh, I've got to win this year. I'm going to get fired. And we stopped talking about, is Mike McCarthy going to get fired? And when they went into this season, I said he's probably got to get to the NFC Championship game for him not to get fired. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think the Cowboys look at this and say, we have a contender. We have a long-term contender here. Even if we don't get it done this year, if they go out and lose in the wild card round, I still think that Mike McCarthy will be their head coach next year. I think just it's changed this year with the way they've played, with what they've seen. I think realistically he's going to be the head coach there next year.
But the reason it all started, the reason that it was tenuous, the reason he was looking over his shoulder, he wasn't looking over his shoulder at Dan Quinn with his hat on backward. He was looking over his shoulder at Sean Payton coming full steam ahead. the guy that Jerry Jones tried to hire in early 2019, even though he had a coach in Jason Garrett at the time, the guy that has been linked to the Cowboys forever. If he's ever going to leave the Saints, he's going to the Cowboys. There has been, I think, some air out of that balloon. We expect Peyton to coach again as soon as next year. I still think there's a chance that when the jobs open up, there's not going to be one that he really wants. We'll see. But that is, and it helps. And I think at a certain point, McCarthy has done enough with this team that his attitude can be, hey, if Jerry's crazy enough to fire me, I'll go coach the Panthers. Couple of Pittsburgh guys, David Tepper and Mike McCarthy. And I would say if McCarthy did get fired, Tepper would be one of the first people to call him. So I think that and Shereen, we know how this works. There are plenty of backroom conversations. There are plenty of discussions through intermediaries. It's entirely possible that McCarthy already knows if he gets fired by the Cowboys, Tepper wants him. Because Tepper isn't going to let it go. Tepper's not going to respect the tampering rules just because Stephen Ross was dumb enough to get nailed. Tepper will do it in a way that is entirely untraceable, burner phones and stuff, although I don't know that it goes that far. But that goes a long way toward making Mike McCarthy feel pretty damn comfortable. If I'm getting fired, I know David Tepper wants me. And if not him, somebody else will. And that's the thing. He's done well enough that it's not like we're looking at him and saying, like Josh McDaniels right now, second time coaching a team, he's done. Nobody's going to want him again. Nobody's saying that about McCarthy. So I agree with you. There is a looseness, there's a confidence, and he's not worried about whatever may happen, even if whatever may happen does happen. And I still, look, it's easy to say it now as the season's going well, but if they would lose in the wild card round and look ugly in the process, and it's just one of those days like it was for the Falcons last night, and there's some weird coaching failure at the end like we saw last year with that effort to run the draw play, and they neglected to remember that there's a referee that may be in the way and needs to get through to set the ball. Something like that can be blamed on McCarthy. I think it could all change. That sudden end of your season, if it can be pinned on the coach, the vibe could change quickly.
It could. That's entirely possible. They're probably going to end up at that NFC South site, whoever that team is going to be. I would expect that the Cowboys would be the team to go in there and play. So they'll have a great chance to win that game and probably be favored to win that game. And if they would lose that game, say to the Bucs, they lose to the Bucs again, start the season with the loss to the Bucs and end the season with the loss to the Bucs. Yeah, absolutely. Things could change. But as it stands right now, the Cowboys are rolling, and you're right. I think this has proved to other teams as well. They look and see and say Mike McCarthy can still coach. Maybe there was some doubt until this year, but there's no doubt now. He can still coach, and he's got a good team that has a legitimate chance to win a Super Bowl.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.